So we're doing something a little bit different. We are doing our favorite top 20 favorite movies, and so this is going to be my number 20 favorite movie, which is The Fighting Sullivans.
Editing Academy, hello.
Oh, hi, I'm Laura.
I'm Daryl.
Editing Academy, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is your top 20, The Fighting
The
Sullivans.
Fighting Sullivans, which I believe you had never seen before.
I have never seen this movie.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of world context, and then I'm going to give you a little Kilmartin context,
Okay.
and then why I love this movie. And I'm also going to say that I think with this exercise, I'm not saying that any of the 20 on my list are the top 20 movies in the world or the best done. These are emotionally important to me.
Yep.
So, first of all, the Fighting Sullivans. This is a huge spoiler, which you did not know. So these Fighting Sullivans were 5 Sullivan brothers who were, I believe, from Iowa, who died on the same ship in World War II. It's based on a true story. So the world context is that these 5 brothers died in November of 1942.
Okay.
This movie was released in February of 1944.
Oh wow, so this was quick.
This was, not only was this quick, but this was released before D-Day.
Yep.
This was released before we knew where the war was going, and it was about probably 15 months from the time these men died to the writing, creation, casting, and releasing of the movie. So what was going on in the world was very, very scary. And then telling you about the Kilmartin context, which is, I found out that Daryl did not know that the Sullivan brothers were all going to die.
How would I? I've never seen the movie.
That never occurred to me.
Really?
It never occurred to me because the Sullivan brothers and the Sullivan story is lore in the Kilmartin family since the day I was born. Like,
Okay.
this is very important to our family. We're huge World War II buffs. My dad, this is his favorite movie. I've seen this since I was 5. So, like, it literally never occurred to me that everyone doesn't know the Sullivan story, which of course they don't. But that is how insulated I am in my head and in my world. And again, part of the Kilmartin lore. So it is about, Irish Catholic brothers who do anything for each other, who grew up in a pretty poor, world, but still do okay.
And they're kind of bullies in the beginning.
Oh, totally bullies.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
absolutely bullies, and they bully the neighborhood, and but again, bringing it back to my dad and his 2 brothers,
Okay.
who grew up, very poor in Portland. Their father worked on the railroad, so it's Irish Catholic, very similar family. So this is how much Kilmartin lore. My sister, Catherine Mary,
Okay.
named after Catherine Mary Sullivan. So that's how important that is to us. So.
Okay.
I love this movie because it obviously has a very, very sad ending. I love it because of the family vignettes. It is just a story of the family. It's about, they're wearing their hand-me-downs. Their pants never really fit. I thought it was very clever. They had a lot of clever pieces with a lot of throwbacks to something happens as they're children. You'll hear about it later as they're adults.
Mm-hmm.
The pants size on the clothesline shows the passage of time from being children to adults. I love the father, who is Uncle Billy from It's a Wonderful Life, who I adore that actor. It also shows the parents, how they take the news of their children's death. The father goes off to work, and the mother just sits there catatonic until the gentleman asks her to make a cup of coffee for him. And then she's like, okay, I have a task, I have something to do. That is a very... How families I know handle bad news is you swallow it down in the good old Irish way. Exactly. You will deal with that emotion later when you have some beer. So, but anyway, it's I think it's just a lovely story. It's a sad story, but it's not overly sappy.
No.
It's not overly patriotic. It definitely at the end has that patriotic moment, and in the moment of the movie, you understand it. But I think every John Wayne war movie out there is far more over-the-top patriotism than this movie is.
Yep.
And I thought it was just a small, sweet vignette of a family that I relate to and that I love watching.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I have 2 problems with this.
Okay.
One, everybody dies at the end. Not everybody, but the brothers die at the end.
All the brothers die at the end.
So that was a problem for me.
I really never thought that people didn't know that. I'm so sorry.
I mean, it was fine. It's just so unexpected. Like,
it is.
everything is built up that these 5 are going to be together forever, and when they do die, I mean, sure, that's real life. It really happens. I get it, but it is very jarring when it it happens.
Painful. It is.
The second thing is, the brothers are very much brothers to each other. They tease each other, they pick on each other. But there's a moment where they're just straight up dicks.
They are.
When
yes.
he brings home the girl who he clearly loves,
Yep.
and the brothers basically, because they found his letter, starts to imply this is just his move that he does on everybody.
Yep.
And then she leaves, ruining that. I mean, they eventually end up getting together, but in that moment, I would be punching the living crap out of them for
Yeah.
doing something so horrific to me. Like, that bothered me, which tells you that I was invested in the movie because it bothered me.
Yes.
But that is unforgivable behavior. I don't care if you're brothers or not. That's unforgivable.
But I think the fact that he didn't punch them is what made them understand how bad it was. Like, if he had physically taken them on, they would have been like, okay, it's something else that we fight about. The fact that he didn't is how they knew it was so awful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
that was it. Those were the two things
Okay.
that bothered me. That scene where they do that to him
it's horrible.
it's unforgivable.
They're not. That's the thing. They're not saints by any stretch of the
no.
imagination. They're kind of dicks sometimes.
And the
they're
eldest brother
bullies.
suffers very much from elder brother syndrome.
Big
Like,
time.
everybody has to do what I say.
Yeah.
Like, one of the brothers asked to go get a job, and he's like, no, you're not gonna get a job. Like, you're just my brother, dude. You're not my dad. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And the sister is basically their hired help.
Yes.
But that is very true for the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So again, very personal, very emotional movie.
And I appreciate you turning me onto it. I did enjoy it.
Excellent.
I'm glad I watched it. The ending was just very, very jarring.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think that's the way it's supposed to be the first
Yes.
time you see it. So I'm glad you didn't tell me or
Mhm.
warn me, because then I had an actual genuine reaction to it, as opposed to, why am I spending my time watching this and knowing you're all going to die at the end?
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Good
Very
job.
Thank you. Like, subscribe, all the things.